From Alameda, California, the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network presents Flying High Over the Zone with the Zigzag Man.
We are back. A's baseball, past, present, and future. I'm Ralph Tyko with the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. And in lieu of Jerry Feidelberg today, I can't get these two people to cross at the same time. We have Nancy Finley and a returning guest who's no stranger to Nancy Finley. Why don't you introduce Mr. Morgan King?
Yeah.
Or have I done that? Will this be redundant, Nancy?
Yeah. My husband, Morgan D. King.
Hello.
Hey,
Sure.
nice to see. Nice that you've been on these airwaves before, and it's always a pleasure to have you. You helped Nancy so much in her book, so much so that you get a lot of credit for helping her. How did that come about that you were able to work together?
We were able to work together as though I had a choice, you mean?
Hey,
well, indenture, how did that come? As if either of you had a choice.
Right.
And if you don't want to call it work, you can call it indenture,
yes.
being indentured together.
I like that. He heard me. So,
was it fun? Let me ask you that.
Morgan, I had fun.
At the book signing, you mean?
Or
No, the process of writing the book together.
Oh, yeah. That was over a couple of years, but...
looking back, I say yes, but at the time, I wanted to pull my hair out on some days.
I can appreciate that. Like any project, it doesn't always go smoothly, I'm sure. What were some of those times when you thought, wow, this is maybe more trouble than it's worth?
Oh gosh, it was it went. That was about every 6 months. I remember I wanted to have absolute proof of whatever I said, and then I would learn more. That was I would find more in Dad's things and think, do I even want to add this or just forget it? And I would ask Morgan about it, but it would mean starting over all over again, finding out where to insert it. Morgan was such a big help because he would take notes and do an index, table of contents, and have it spiral bound at Kinko so I could see what it would look like.
Okay, the index had it very tough.
Oh, I know. I know. I don't like to write more.
And I do. So
yes.
Part of it was just the fun of writing, because I've written like 12 books for lawyers. But this was a chance to help write something that had nothing to do with law. And the thing is, it was an eye-opener. I knew hardly anything about the A's history until I met and married Nancy.
And had to listen.
And I had to listen.
Well, you did manage to mix a little of your law expertise in. It's a really well-written book. I go to it periodically, and the thrill for me is that I know you guys.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah, there. You know, if you go on Amazon, there's just almost nothing but rave reviews. And there's one guy who I guess thinks he's an expert who claimed that it was the worst baseball book he'd ever read. And I'm thinking, well, it wasn't really supposed to be a baseball book. It was supposed to be Nancy's and the Finleys' involvement with baseball.
Something pushed his button.
Yeah, something pushed his button.
Right, I'm thinking, okay, what was it? That I want to know. But no, in regards to the book, I have a lot. I have so much more to add, but that's just in storage that they didn't have room for. And it
well, when the book was submitted to Regnery, it was 180 pages, and they cut it back in half to 900 pages, or maybe it was or words. Anyway, they cut it in half, whatever. Maybe it was 180.
Oh, 1,800 pages.
They cut it back to like 90,000. So there's a whole bunch that they chopped out. I guess Regnery is trying to be a politically correct. Oh, Nancy's.
We don't need to go into politics, Morgan. Okay, I stay neutral with that because we are both different here.
All right.
Okay, so watch it.
Well, this is podcast radio, and you pushed my button, and the times we live in are to say the least unique.
Your mouth is open all the time watching what's going on.
What you always liked, you guys were interested in full disclosure. Mm-hmm. Were you happy, Morgan, when they went to the FBI this week, so we can get heads or tails out of this?
Oh, Huey Newton, yes, FBI. That's what my mind immediately goes back.
Oh, you're talking about this Supreme Court nominee.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have
what is his name? O'Kavanaugh?
Kavanaugh, not O'Kavanaugh, just Kavanaugh.
Okay, now
I thought it was O'Kavanaugh. I thought it was Bart O'Kavanaugh.
Insert that Justice Stevens was our team counsel at one time. He's retired from the Supreme Court.
Justice Kennedy fixed a parking ticket for me when I lived in Sacramento in the 70s.
Okay.
When he was a judge.
So we all know Supreme Court people. I'm thinking, now, Morgan, I know you were asked, and I'm talking over you.
Yes, you are.
I'm sorry. I'm real sorry about that. And I'll let you talk in a second.
Okay.
Isn't it sad, though, how they're going back to high school now?
Well, no, it's they're going back to his demeanor and his.
Yes. There's two issues right now. Yeah, right. One is his demeanor, and the other one is the charges that Dr.
Right.
Whatever they come up with, he showed his demeanor.
No one liked his attitude. He was very unjudicial.
Very telling. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's hard when you're going for a job interview and you tell the senator. You ask her if she drinks too.
Oh my!
Yeah.
I don't know if she put a little mark down that maybe we ought to look at this guy.
Yes, there are more out there to choose from. I would scratch this.
Well, but I was glad that they brought the FBI in, and we'll see what happens.
I mean. I would go by this demeanor. Really, I don't know.
You got to go by demeanor in the sense that he's screaming and crying in two sentences later, and he is
arrogant,
being political. And I think the Supreme Court, Morgan, I'm not an attorney, but do they stress that? Do they like it when you don't get political and you're on the Supreme Court? Is that a big plus?
It is. If you don't get political, that's a plus.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought so. I knew there was something about that. And when the state bar, not the state bar, the national bar recommends that this guy be investigated.
Oh, the ABA did? The American Bar Association?
Yes.
Yes. Oh.
So there we go. I hope we find some sort of justice, and I hope this brings us together as a country. But it certainly, from a woman's standpoint, I think it was wonderful that people are giving themselves permission to really get help and come out. And
what I like is we can see how both people are under pressure. Well, she's not.
She was under pressure.
Right, but she's not in an interview, though. However, you see him, and I would expect maturity, evenness. Wow.
Well, I thought she was compelling. Let's put it that way. And yes, she was under pressure. Oh my God.
But not for him, he's going. Oh no, he's going for an interview, but it's an appointment. So it's sort of like I guess he feels he has it. But yeah, she knew all eyes were on her. But she made a really good impression. Him, I guess he didn't think the impression mattered because it's an appointment. I don't know, but he's already a judge. He should just stay with.
And what I'd like to know, here's a legal, if it's proven that he perjured himself by representing himself as he wasn't, if that comes to pass, could he lose his appointment on
he could, but again, it would be kind of political.
Great question.
Let's say he's convicted of perjury before that committee.
Well, it's not a matter of
qualify him from being appointed to the Supreme Court. But,
no, I'm talking about the job that the lifetime job that he already has. If he's shown to have lied to the committee, could he lose the lifetime appointment to the circuit?
And the answer is yes.
Wow.
He can't. That could happen.
That could happen. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this whole story could have a happy ending, and it could be like a musical.
Yes. Yeah, we've seen.
Morgan, would you put yourself down? You're a writer now. Could you write a musical? Is there a lyrics that you want to come up with, like "Happy days are here again," stuff like that? No.
Oh, we would love.
Great idea. Yeah.
All right, I can see it being performed now at the introduced. They sing the national anthem. You know, the ensemble comes out.
You asked me something once, and I've been meaning to bring it back up.
Okay.
You said I was talking about when the morning after the talk with Mike Andrews occurred, and the team was going back to New York, and Dad did not feel like legally that he or Charlie should get on the plane before it left and announce what happened with Andrews because of legalities, because of employer-employee law. And I remember you said that you had wondered about employer law or had some things come up maybe. And I remembered I wanted to ask you if that's what you were talking about, employment law.
You know, I'm trying to put that in context in my mind of what I was curious about.
Because so many, I try to explain to people that we could have gotten in trouble for announcing something that was a private discussion or meeting.
Oh, okay. It was his medical records, I think we were talking about.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I saw one of our doctors at the book signing. Oh, but we had several doctors. This isn't one of them, but he would have been there. But yeah, the medical record. That was something that we. I was surprised.
Yeah, you were reluctant to give out personal medical information, and rightfully so. That.
Oh yeah, and in a World Series, you have your doctor standing by, definitely. But I just figured, oh wow, I could see the ball being dropped. No pun intended. But Charlie had a mild heart attack, the month of August.
Mild heart attack is a heart attack that somebody else has.
I know, but wow, he was really up and around quickly, maybe too quickly. And then we had the tickets printed coming in for the playoff and World Series. Back then you had to do that. And then Andrew's contract wasn't returned stamped until September, in September. He wasn't with us very long. And then all of a sudden, when this error happens, Charlie asked to see the medical report that every player has from day one. The first day on the contract, it says, you are to report to the team physician. There wasn't one. That was a faux pas. I mean,
that was a big mistake. They didn't require him to be examined when he first went with the 8.
Not required, is it?
It's required. It's required.
No one noticed.
Yeah, it's required, but they just sort of let him walk, and they shouldn't have.
I could see that happening though with everything going on.
Yeah, the entire front office couldn't have been, but how many people?
I know. Oh, I know. I can go through the yearbook now and scratch out names that wouldn't have been needed. I don't want to say needed, but would have been just all under one person, Dad, or maybe 3 other people.
Hey, have I ever asked you about the hammer, Nancy?
Our hammer? MC?
Oh, well, not your hammer, but
Stanley
the world's
Burrell?
hammer. MC.
Stanley.
Yeah.
I don't think maybe we have. Stanley was.
Okay. Well, what are your memories of him?
Oh gosh, my first memory is sort of being jealous because I showed up at a game to sit, just to be there, and Hammer was in my seat next to my dad.
Oh.
and he was the same age, and I thought, what's he doing there? So I sat on the other side of Dad and thought up something to get him out of my seat. I would say I wanted a Coke to drink or something. But Dad told me that is who he had to do a lot of running around. Because see, I couldn't go in the locker room. Hammer could.
Right.
And there's a lot of running around there, as you know, huh, Morgan?
Oh, yeah.
The rumor was that they were getting information from Mr. Hammer.
They might have. I mean,
as the expression was, he was a mole. Was that
everyone
that a fair?
Nowadays, we have, technology for that.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel better now.
Right,
Big Brother is
oh, yeah.
becoming more and more sophisticated. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
I think I am going to be an agoraphobiac. That I'm encouraged.
You know what, though? I feel like if you're not talking about someone would be very bored looking at my stuff. I always wonder why do they look at what other people do? It's
well, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard.
Yeah, unless it's undressing, maybe with young people. I don't know, but with Hammer, many times Dad needed something taken down to the clubhouse or locker room, and you didn't have the cell phones then. You did have extensions, but it doesn't mean someone would answer. Okay.
Yeah. When you got to know him, what did you like about him?
He was very professional. He said no sir, yes sir to all the adults, and always intently listening to see what was needed. Charlie wasn't there much. It was Dad. He helped the most, and Dad needed it.
Okay. That sounds like a good working relationship.
And what he did with Hammer, he did with me. Like when he made me vice president, it's just that with Hammer, Charlie used it for a PR move, and it was picked up by the press. With me, I'm not going to get it. Dad's not going to let me wear a cap that says VP. My name wasn't going to be in the press because of kidnap threats.
Right.
So you got fired the next morning, right? Your dad fired you.
He just rescinded it.
Well, okay. I call that firing.
Yeah.
Well, there's a firing story. It was Jim Campanis took over as general manager for the Dodgers, and the first move was, this back in the day, he traded his son. He had to go home and tell his wife that he traded his son, who was a catcher with the Dodgers at the time. So you talk about
I don't know. That's
moves
another
that may not be
human
popular.
resource blunder, I think.
You weren't upset when you didn't get to be vice president, were you, Nancy?
Dad telling me, oh, no, Dad's the one. Charlie was on his way back to Chicago, and Dad said, no, you're not. And no. That's no. What could I do?
You didn't really expect to be anyway, right?
Well, no. After Charlie left, Charlie was a big promoter and wanting to make people feel good. He could also make people feel really bad, too. But he liked to make people feel good, and he had told me something the night before at dinner that what I said was very intelligent. You know, and I'm 16. That's got to make a teenager feel really good.
Oh, absolutely.
I had very high confidence.
Yeah.
You've pretty much given your opinion on everything since then, right?
Well, I was told there was nothing. There was no dumb idea. There's not anything that's dumb. Just say anything.
No dumb questions, in other words.
That's another one. And that's when people are the most creative.
I proved that wrong, though. By the way, over the years, I got it.
Well, foot and mouth, that's different.
There are dumb questions.
Well, I remember Charlie could tell by the look on our faces if he said something he didn't think was going to go over very well, and he backed off. We really didn't have to say what we thought. He backed off quickly.
Well, Charlie was an insurance salesman. That's how he started. So you have to get to know people a little bit as an insurance salesman.
When Morgan and I, the last time Morgan saw him at a dinner, companies had just decided that they were going to have employees pay a portion of the health insurance. It was all over the news. And so we asked Charlie his thoughts on that, and he said they saw it that people would appreciate it more. That was just his opinion. He wasn't part of that new law.
Yeah. Okay, guys, tell me about the book signing recently.
Wow. Okay, I said it would probably go through 5 innings because in our day, I remember when there was a study done that most items sell in the first 5 innings of a game. So apparently they put up on the board that I would be there through the 5th inning. And we sold out of books.
By about the 3rd inning, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was a long line. And
wow.
It felt good because...
Nice.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I expected a few people to drop by and be interested, but instead it was like a huge thing that was happening. People were lining up, and they all wanted to know if Nancy was the Nancy Finley. And
wow.
She was. Man, they just talked her ear off.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah. I heard things actually that I'm now going to have to write in addition to what I already have for my book. I mean, amazing. One lady told me how Charlie or Dad, sometimes people confuse the two, but she said they saved her life.
Wow. How'd that happen?
Hey, Skip Lockwood has been on this show, and I'm trying to get him back. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get him back on this show. He does a weekly show with me. I have to tell
him about. I really like his book. I want to tell him that.
Oh, well, he likes yours too.
Oh.
And my point is, he really likes, respects, and is grateful to your dad for helping him in the transition when he was going to be out of baseball and came up as a position player. And Sal Bando was the third baseman. He made it to the big leagues because of the bonus situation where if you give out a bonus, you have to keep the kid up all year. That's how it was in those days. And when he wasn't making it as a hitter, Charlie gave him the chance to become a pitcher. And he went on to a stellar career as both a starter with the Milwaukee Brewers and then a closer with the Mets for several excellent years. Ended up with Boston, but he gives Charlie an awful lot of credit. So I just wanted to throw that in there and ask you guys, were you planning another book before your recent success at the Coliseum?
Well, I've been planning to have an expanded edition. I wasn't sure when I should do that, but I think the time has come for us to get out the edited portion. And, oh, God, that's the part that was really hard for me, was organizing. But it's there.
And then having to learn the spelling of my name so you can include it in the book.
Yes.
That should be no problem, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I like your name. Your name is the same as those Beanie Babies, the company that puts that up. See, that's how I look at it.
In that case, I was feeling pretty good about getting my name in the book, but now.
Oh, no, I won't.
Hey, why don't you make it a paperback? Make the expanded edition in the paperback edition.
We might have to.
Yeah, we might do that.
Yeah, the print's smaller for that, but we might have to. And then I have another section where it's not even in my edited part. It's just things I've learned on top. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have a lifetime that you can build on this, and.
Yes.
I'm really happy for both of you because this is a project you work so hard on, and that's terrific.
Yeah, it was very gratifying to see the people come through that line when they were through chatting with Nancy. They'd come down to my end of the table to order the book. Well, first we ran out of books after about the first 2 innings we were there. So then we were just taking money and promising to mail them the books.
He worked hard for me. Well, that was a good turnaround.
I was handling all that, but a lot of people wanted two copies to give one to give out as a gift and that sort of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, they were. And the thing is, a lot of these people were the generation that lived through the World Series years. But it's like
my dear old self. I think I've told you both how in the 6th game of the World Series, when you guys were playing my Mets, it was the most disheartening loss I ever experienced as a fan.
That was Game 7, right?
No, it was Game 6 because I knew that Game 7 they would lose. The momentum switched from the Mets to the A's, and Seaver lost that game, and it was lights out church. So it didn't make me very happy, I must say. But looking back, you know what? I have that picture you gave me, Nancy, right up on my wall of Jack Benny, Charlie Finley.
You can just imagine.
Bowie Kuhn, because that was a game I attended. Yeah. Jack Benny threw out the first pitch in that game. The only thing that I take away from that game that's puts a smile on my face.
Look at how stressed both Charlies look. And you can just imagine, well, you were there. You know. And you reminded me of something. I was going to do a few pages of how the first pitch has changed over the years.
Of what has changed?
The first pitch, because back then we had Benny throw it from behind the dugout. It was no big deal.
Oh, right. Yeah. It was like the president on opening day used to throw out the first pitch in Washington. And he didn't go out on the field to throw it. He threw it from his box seat.
That's right. Morgan has a picture of when JFK threw it and Ken Retzker was the catcher in D.C.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, wow, now they treat people like they're pitchers.
Didn't JFK throw it out from the grassy knoll? Or am I confused with something?
Is that a joke?
Okay.
I hope so.
Okay.
I don't
Stadium wasn't built yet. Okay. That's how I
okay. Just checking about that one. Hey, listen, guys, tremendous as usual, par usual, as they say.
Thank you.
And we'll see you when we see you. How about that?
Great. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Morgan.
Okay.
And thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm Ralph Tyko, Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. And if you really like our offerings, and even if you don't, do me a favor. Do us all a favor in society. Box up some new or lightly used children's books and take them down to the Head Start program wherever you live. These are kids that need to read for a myriad of reasons. They need to develop an imagination. They need to get their noses out of the devices and the computers. And they need to become school ready. Disadvantaged kids need this more. The way our society is today, less and less money is being paid to education. And it's pure and simple for us to survive as a society, we've got to get kids reading. So do that for me. I'd appreciate it. And happy trails.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
All right. Bye.
This has been a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.